Your company just hired a head of AI strategy. You have a new AI center of excellence. You run an AI challenge last quarter. You have a slide deck with a roadmap that says AI enabled next to every single business unit. And nothing happened. Sound familiar or not? Because I have seen this before, not with AI, with digital transformation, and before that with design thinking, and before that with Open Innovation Labs and other stuff, you name it. The names change, the pattern does not. And I want to talk about why, and more importantly, what the companies that are actually shipping AI look like from the inside. I want to be direct with you. If you work in corporate innovation, if you are a chief innovation officer, a VP of corporate venturing, or someone who runs an open innovation program, you are under a lot of pressure right now, right? Because there's a lot of AI going on. The board is asking you about AI. Your CEO just came back from Davos or any conference and said, we need to move faster on this. And now you have to show something. Yeah, because you cannot still play with ChatGPT. The problem is that showing something and shipping something relevant for the business are two different things. Innovation theater, the term I use for programs that produce activity but not results, used to be easy to spot. You could see it in the number of workshops, the number of pilots that never became products or other type of things. The startup partnerships that produce a press release and nothing else, just like a lot of smoke. But AI has given innovation theater a new custom. And it's much harder to see through because the language sounds serious. AI strategy, AI governance framework, responsible AI deployment. Don't get me wrong, those things are important. All real things, all things that can also be used to produce nothing. So today, I want to give you 3 clear signs that your AI program is theater and 3 signs that is the real thing. Theater sign 1. The output is a document. The first sign that your AI program is theater is this. The main output of the program is a document. Nothing wrong with the documents, but it can be this last thing. An AI strategy document, an AI readiness assessment, a responsible AI framework, a report on where we are with AI across the business. Documents are not bad, of course. You often need them. But if the primary output of 6 months of work is a document and not a deploy tool, a change process, or a cost that went down, then you are in theater? Well, documents answer the questions, what do we think about AI? Real programs answer the questions, what did I change in the business? And that is the real deal. Real sign 1. The output is a decision that changed something. The real version of this looks different. The team used an AI tool to speed up due diligence on a startup partnership. The legal team cut contract review time by 20-40% using a tool they tested with a startup through a venture client deal. The procurement team stopped doing something manually that had done manually for 10 years, 5 years, whatever. The question to us is simple. What is different inside the company because of this program? If you cannot answer that one sentence, you are still in theater. Theater sign 2. The program has no kill criteria. The second sign is that nobody in the room can tell you what would make this program stop. Someone has to tell you that, because that means that they know what is going on, what is good, what is bad. When I ask innovation leaders, what would failure look like for your AI initiative? I get one of 2 answers, either a long pause or a description of something that could never actually happen. Like if the whole thing completely collapsed. Okay, well, that's difficult. This is a theater program. That is a theater program because in a real program, you have defined in advance what this is not working. Looks like you have metrics, you have a decision point, and if you hit that point, you stop and do something different. Like in every innovation process, it's not rocket science. No-kill criteria means the program cannot fail. And if a program cannot fail, it also cannot succeed. It just continues. Real sign 2. There is a decision point with a date on it. Real programs look like this. We are testing this AI tool with 3 teams for 90 days. By day 90, we need to see X. If we don't see X, we stop and we pick a different tool or a different problem. It is different, right? That is a defined window, a defined metric, a defined next step. That is what you need to see in order to continue. This is exactly the logic behind the mentor-client model, which I have talked about in other videos. You are not running a pilot to just learn, which is not a problem. You are running a pilot to make a yes or no decision. There is a big difference between a yes or no decision or just run a pilot for it, because it's fun. Theater and sign 3. AI is the strategy. The third sign, and this is one of the most important, is when AI is positioned as a strategy itself, not as a tool that serves the strategy. And that's the whole point. AI is a tool that serves the strategy. Write that down, okay? It is very important. It's a tool that serves the strategy. This program. We are becoming an AI first company. AI is at the center of everything we do today. It sounds strong. It is actually empty. Because AI is not a business outcome. It's a method. It's a tool. When AI is a strategy, it means nobody has asked the harder question. What problem are we solving? For which customer? And why does AI solve it better than we are doing it today? Those are the questions. Without those answers, you are not building strategy. You're building a narrative for the annual report. Real sign 3. AI serves a specific business problem. The real version starts from a problem, not from the technology. We lose 30% of enterprise clients in the first 90 days, and we don't know why. Those are the kind of questions you need to ask. We want to test whether an AI tool can analyze the early signals and give our account and managers a warning before it is too late. That is a business problem. AI is the tool being tested against it. The problem existed before. AI is just the best current answer to it. That is very different, the approach of that. When you start from the problem, you can measure success. When you start from the technology, you are producing theater. Let me give you a real example. And I'm going to keep it anonymous because this is from a program I work with directly, and I cannot give you those, the answer of the client. But it was a large financial institution launch an AI innovation program. They had a team of 8 people and also a budget, executive sponsorship. They run workshops across 12 business units to identify AI opportunities. They produce a prioritized list of 47 use cases. 47 use cases. That list became a roadmap document. The document became a presentation to the board. The board approved a second phase of workshops to validate the top 10 use cases. Sound familiar? 18 months in they had spent most of their budget and deployed exactly 0 tools in production. When I asked the team what went wrong, they say, we did not have clear ownership. Nobody was accountable for taking a use case from the list to a real deployment. That is the answer. Not a technology problem, not a budget problem, an accountability problem. Theater does not have owners. Real programs do. The companies I have seen that actually implement AI have one thing in common. Someone's jobs depend on the outcome, not on the activity, on the outcome, and that changes everything. So here's what I want you to take from this video. 3 questions. Write them down and bring them to your next team meeting. Number 1, what is different inside the company because of this AI program? Number 2, what does failure look like and when do we stop? And number 3, are we starting from AI or from a specific problem? If you can answer all 3 clearly, you are not in theater. If you cannot, now you know what to fix. If this was useful, subscribe. I put out new videos every week on corporate innovation, the venture client model, and what it actually takes to succeed in innovation inside a large organization. I also write a weekly newsletter called the Venture Edge. The links are in the description. It goes deeper than the videos on the frameworks and the real stories. And please leave me a comment. Which of the 3 theater signs is the biggest problem in your organization right now? I read every reply. Thank you for that. Bye bye. Ciao. Adios.